Welcome to the Southeast Asian Studies course, everyone. It's great to have you with us for this deep dive.
Mm.
We're going to really try to give you a crash course.
Like a beginner's guide.
Exactly. Like
Oh,
if you've never even thought about Southeast
yeah,
Asia,
100%.
this is for you.
Mm.
Let's just imagine it's 2030.
Okay, 2030.
You've landed an amazing job, so exciting, right?
Oh,
And you find yourself at this really prestigious,
fancy.
fancy
Yeah.
Asian conference, like right there in the heart of Singapore.
Surrounded by all these people from all over Southeast Asia.
Yeah. So we're talking Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia.
The Philippines. Everyone's there.
The whole gang's there, and everyone's buzzing,
Yeah.
talking about all the cool opportunities and challenges in the region. You're going to need to be able to navigate
Oh, yeah. All the different cultures and, understand the
the
history.
history. You got to be able to, contribute to the conversation.
You can't just sit there silently. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to jump in.
Yeah.
So that's what this course is all about.
It's like giving you the knowledge so you can not just be there, but really thrive.
Exactly. Not just survive, but thrive. So let's get into it. Why is it so important?
Yeah, why should we even care?
Yeah, why should someone from Vietnam care about understanding Southeast Asia? What's the big deal?
Well, first of all, Vietnam's history and culture, they're so connected to the bigger Southeast Asian story. And we're not talking about ancient history, it doesn't matter.
Right, right.
This stuff is still relevant today. Think about the ancient kingdoms of Champa and Funan. Their influence is everywhere in Vietnam today.
Oh, wow. Okay, so by understanding that shared past, we can really appreciate where Vietnam is today.
For sure. It gives you context for everything, like Vietnam's role in ASEAN, for example.
Oh, interesting.
And its strategic position in the South China Sea. It helps us understand the country's foreign policy in the present.
Right. Which brings us to the ASEAN Economic Community.
The AEC.
Yeah, the AEC. I've heard about it, but what does it actually mean? For Vietnam specifically.
Imagine a giant economic engine.
Yeah. Pushing Southeast Asia closer together. The AEC is about breaking down all those trade barriers.
So making it easier to do business.
Exactly. And investment.
Yeah.
Even moving skilled workers across borders.
So more opportunities for Vietnamese people to work in other countries.
And for people to come to Vietnam, a much bigger market for goods and services. Think about it.
I'm starting to see how this is all connected.
Yeah.
So if someone from Vietnam wants to work in this bigger market, learning about Southeast Asian cultures and languages, that would be a smart move.
It's like unlocking a whole new world of possibilities. Imagine a Vietnamese architect. They could be designing this amazing sustainable city in Indonesia.
Okay, wow.
Or a Vietnamese entrepreneur getting funding from a venture capitalist in Singapore. The AEC makes these things possible.
That's so cool. I might need to brush up on my Bahasa Indonesia.
Uh,
It's not just about the money, though, right?
No, absolutely not.
Southeast Asia is just so diverse.
So many different cultures, so many perspectives.
How do we even begin to understand it all? It's a challenge, but it's so rewarding. Because when we study this diversity, we start to develop respect, we reduce our own biases, and we build a sense of unity in the region. And in today's world, that's more important than ever.
It's true. And speaking of the world today, there are so many shared challenges.
Oh, yeah, like climate change.
Climate change, rapid urbanization, these things don't just stop at borders, right?
Nope, they don't. That's why regional cooperation is crucial. We need to work together to learn from each other's successes and challenges, find solutions.
So it's like a shared problem.
Shared solutions.
Shared solution. I love that. So we've gone from ancient history to modern economic opportunities.
All connected.
And it all helps us understand Vietnam's place in the world.
More than that, it's about shaping that place, actively. We can learn so much from our neighbors' successes and challenges.
That's fascinating. I'm already feeling more connected to the region just by talking about it. Now, what about career opportunities? We touched on this a little bit, but what specific fields benefit from a good understanding of Southeast Asia?
Oh, so many. Trade, tourism, diplomacy, international relations, education. You could even work for global organizations.
Like the U.S.
The UN, ASEAN itself, so many options.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, employers really value graduates who have this regional expertise.
Absolutely. It makes you stand out in a globalized economy. Think about it. You could be negotiating a trade deal with a Malaysian company.
Wow.
Or collaborating on research with academics in Indonesia. Southeast Asian studies can open so many doors.
That's impressive. But it's not all about the job market, right? There are broader educational benefits too, would you say?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's not just about memorizing facts and figures. It's about developing critical thinking skills.
Oh, okay. How
Yeah.
so?
Well, you're exposed to all these different perspectives on big issues like colonialism, globalization, even modernity. You learn to think critically and be more adaptable.
Those are skills that can benefit anyone.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what career you choose. These skills are valuable.
So we've talked about the why of Southeast Asian studies, why it matters, why it's relevant. Now let's move on to the what. All right, welcome back to our Southeast Asian Studies Deep Dive, everyone. Ready to keep exploring.
Definitely. It's great to be back. Last time we were talking about the why,
The why.
why it's so important to understand Southeast Asia, especially for us here in Vietnam.
Right, we talk about all those
The
connections,
historical connections, the cultural connections.
the economic opportunities with the AEC.
Yeah. And the importance of regional cooperation, working together on those big challenges.
And we even talked about some pretty exciting career paths.
Oh, yeah. So many possibilities out there.
I know. It's making me think about my future, for sure. But for now, let's shift gears and dive into the what. What are we actually going to be learning on this Southeast Asian studies journey? Like, where do we even begin? There's just so much to cover. Southeast Asia is so diverse, so many different cultures, languages, histories.
It can feel a little overwhelming at first,
A little.
but don't worry, we'll break it down. We start with the basics, the foundation.
Okay, the building blocks.
Exactly. We'll look at the histories of each major Southeast Asian country. We'll explore the key events, the important figures, the things that shaped their identities.
So we're talking like rise and fall of empires, colonialism, the struggle for independence.
The whole epic saga will trace the paths these nations have taken
Wow.
and examine the forces that shaped the world we live in today.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me an example.
Okay, so think about the maritime trade routes. Centuries ago, these routes crisscrossed Southeast Asia. They played a huge role in shaping Vietnam's coastal culture
Really? I never thought about that.
and its early interactions with global powers.
Fascinating. So those historical events are still impacting us today.
Absolutely. They echo in the present. And speaking of the present, we'll also dive into the incredibly diverse cultures of Southeast Asia. The traditions, the beliefs, the art forms.
The food. Don't forget the food.
Oh, of course. The amazing cuisines. Each country is so unique and vibrant. Think about it. You've got ancient temples in Cambodia,
Bustling night markets in Thailand.
vibrant festivals in Indonesia.
And of course, Vietnam's unique cultural blend.
Exactly. It's a tapestry of human experience. You can experience the syncretism of Buddhist and indigenous beliefs in Vietnam.
Or savor a delicious bowl of pho.
Ah, pho, a dish that reflects Vietnam's historical connections to both China and France.
I'm already getting hungry. But it's not just about food, right? What about the languages?
Oh, yeah. Southeast Asia is a linguistic melting pot. So many languages. Bahasa Indonesia, Thai, Tagalog, Vietnamese.
Wow, it's a lot.
We might not become fluent in all of them,
That's okay?
but we'll gain an appreciation for their diversity and the cultural nuances they represent.
And even learning a few basic phrases?
It can open so many doors, personally and professionally.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about something a little more, maybe challenging. Politics.
Ooh, politics.
Things can get a bit complicated in Southeast Asia, right?
Well, politics is always dynamic, but understanding the political systems, the dynamics of these nations, it's essential if you want to engage with the region on a deeper level.
So we're going to be looking at the forms of government, the key players, the challenges, the opportunities.
All of that. We'll also analyze the relationships between these nations, both within ASEAN and on the global stage,
So, how Vietnam interacts with its neighbors.
and the rest of the world. For example, we'll look at how Vietnam's membership in ASEAN has influenced its economic policies
Okay.
and its approach to issues like, say, the South China Sea disputes.
So many moving parts. It's like a giant game of chess, with each country making strategic moves. All right, now let's talk about the engine that drives so much of the region. Economics.
Economics. The lifeblood of development. We'll explore the economic landscapes of Southeast Asia,
Okay.
comparing their strengths and weaknesses, their growth trajectories, and how they're integrated into the global economy.
I mean, Southeast Asia has some of the world's fastest growing economies, right?
It does, and we'll investigate the factors driving this growth.
This is where the ASEAN economic community comes into play, right?
Yeah.
Creating more integrated economic zone.
Exactly. We'll analyze how these economic forces are shaping lives, creating opportunities, and presenting challenges. We'll look at how Vietnamese businesses are adapting to the AEC
Interesting.
and how the free flow of goods and labor is impacting local communities.
It's all connected.
It is politics, economics, culture, history, all interwoven in this intricate tapestry we call Southeast Asia.
I love that analogy. So we're not just looking back, right? We're also looking forward, trying to understand where Southeast Asia is heading in the 21st century. That brings us to current affairs. What are the big issues facing the region today? How are these nations dealing with global challenges? Climate change, technology, all those things.
All of those. This course is about more than just acquiring knowledge. It's about developing your critical thinking skills to navigate this complex world.
So it's about becoming informed, engaged global citizens.
Exactly. Capable of contributing to solutions.
Making a difference. So to recap, we've got history, culture, languages, politics, economics, and current affairs. That's a pretty comprehensive overview of Southeast Asia.
It is. And by exploring these areas, we're not just gaining academic knowledge, we're developing a deeper understanding of Vietnam's role in the region and the world.
We're becoming better equipped to navigate this globalized society. All right, welcome back, everyone, for the grand finale of our Southeast Asian Studies Deep Dive.
We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we?
I know, right? We started way back with the why.
Why understanding Southeast Asia is so important, particularly for us here in Vietnam.
Then we jumped into the what.
The fascinating tapestry of history, culture, languages, politics, economics.
All the things that make Southeast Asia so unique.
And now, the moment of truth.
I've been waiting for this.
The how. How will your newfound knowledge be assessed in this course?
Okay, I have to admit, I'm hoping for something a bit more engaging than just a typical exam.
Oh, you and me both.
Right.
We've designed a multifaceted assessment structure that goes beyond just memorizing facts.
Okay, I like where this is going.
It's all about active engagement, really putting that knowledge into action.
I'm all for that. Tell me more. I love a good challenge.
First and foremost, participation is key.
Participation.
Yeah, we want to hear your voices, your insights, your perspectives.
So speaking up in class, asking questions, engaging in those debates.
All of that. It's a vital part of the learning process.
Makes sense.
And your contributions will be valued, I promise.
So that's part of the grade.
Absolutely. Your active involvement is worth 10% of your overall grade.
Okay, 10% for participation. I like it. It's a nice change of pace. What else is in store?
Get ready to team up, because next up we have group presentations.
Group presentations.
Yeah, each group will choose a Southeast Asian country to become experts on.
So like a deep dive into a specific country.
Exactly. You'll research and present on different aspects: history, culture, language, economics, politics. And you'll analyze its relationship with Vietnam.
It's a chance to really get to know a country inside and out.
And to practice those research and presentation skills, which are so valuable.
Plus, it's a great way to learn from each other.
Exactly. So we've got 10% for participation, 20% for the presentation. What's left?
The grand finale.
Drum roll, please.
Ah.
The ASEAN English Language Education Action Summit 2030 simulation.
Whoa, a summit simulation. That sounds intense.
It is, but also incredibly fun.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
And it's the culmination of everything you'll learn in this course, worth a hefty 20% of your grade.
Okay, I'm listening.
Each group will represent an ASEAN member state.
So we're talking like diplomats and policymakers.
Exactly. You'll need to research your assigned country's priorities, its stance on English language education.
And any challenges they might face.
Right. And then you'll come together as a regional body, engage in debates, negotiations, try to solve problems collaboratively.
It's like a crash course in diplomacy.
And intercultural communication, strategic thinking.
So many valuable skills.
You'll get to experience firsthand the complexities of regional cooperation, the art of compromise, the power of collective action.
This whole course sounds amazing. It's designed to give students not just knowledge, but the skills they need to succeed in our interconnected world.
Absolutely. Critical thinking, communication, collaboration, problem solving. These are the skills that employers are looking for.
And the skills that will empower you to make a real difference in your chosen field.
No matter what path you choose.
Well, listeners, that's a wrap. A deep dive into Southeast Asian studies, from the why to the what to the how. We explore the importance of understanding the region, the fascinating topics you'll be learning, and the innovative ways you'll be assessed.
We hope this deep dive has piqued your interest and given you a taste of what to expect in this course.
Before we go, we want to leave you with a few questions to think about.
Yeah, share your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you.
All right, here we go. First, What aspect of Southeast Asian culture or history are you most curious about? What really sparks your interest?
Second, if you could participate in that ASEAN summit simulation, which country would you represent? What unique perspective would you bring to the table?
And finally, how do you see this knowledge benefiting your career or personal goals? How will you use what you learn to make a positive impact? We can't wait to read your answers. Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery.
It's been a pleasure.
Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating topics.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring.
Goodbye, everyone.